Tonight, we celebrate our freedom.
Today, the latest weapons, coupled with the fighting skill of the American soldier, stand ready. On the
Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to another 6P Autumn Showdown round of 64 matchup. We are in the penultimate block of the round of 64 weekend. We have had 29 matches and we're down to the last 3, I believe. We have a doubleheader happening right now at the 18 UTC block. And so now we have Milla taking off konkawe in this winner's round of 64 matchup. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in the commentary booth this time around by none other than Adam Ackerville. Adam, how you doing?
Hello, good evening to those Asian people that is awake at 2 a.m. or, sometime in the evening. Hello everyone, it's Adam Ackerville as Sparky said. And I'm doing good. It's just 2 a.m. on a Sunday. Nothing wrong. Well, it is a Monday now for the Asia countries, but other than that, hello Sparky. How's it going?
It's going absolutely fantastic. Excited to finally get to show off some of these round of 64 matches. I know getting the first half underway was a bit of a struggle, but we got there in the end. Better late than never, as I always like to say. And plus, the good thing is for the players, nobody gets eliminated this week. So if they didn't get a chance to get streamed this weekend, they'll always have a chance next weekend because we're gonna have the same amount of matches. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep. And coming in from me for a little bit, sorry that I wasn't able to commentate much for this week. As you can see from the previous matches we had streamed earlier, I wasn't available, but now, hey, I'm available for one match at least. Better late than never to start commentating. But wow,
Exactly.
seems like the first warm-up, I think, is already done and over with.
Yeah, that is warm up. This is definitely a lot harder than anything in this map pool. I think the general range that we're going for was
Yeah,
like
this is definitely way
this is a
harder
22.
than,
Yeah, this is like 10 above.
This is really, really hard because, come on, it's round of 64. Map pools isn't going to be that hard yet. Come on, give them some slack. And sorry if the client is acting up a little bit. We do have some, small issue with the client.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a tournament without client trying to steal the show here. Yeah.
Trying to, say, hey, I am the boss of this stream, okay? I am the boss. If I'm dead, you don't get to have a good stream. That's what client is saying,
Yes,
it's like the warm-up is over already. Miller, I wins in
Tonight,
a row,
we celebrate our
and
freedom.
they will be taking second. So Konkawe will be having their first attack in Rise 3.
Yeah, pretty interesting protect overall. Understandable. I think konkawe is a lot more comfortable on these more rice-oriented charts, regardless of key mode. Know them
Yep.
primarily for their 4-key.
That's just good, man. He's really good.
Yeah.
Konkawe, Porky, his name is really out there. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Totally not because he was one of the main players for Island and NWC. No. Oh, Milla with the LN1 Protect. Maybe we get to see a Rice versus long look / hybrid this time around. You'll never know.
Well, we'll find out in just a little bit here. I always like to say whenever SV isn't in the chart or isn't in the map pool, LNs usually become the next point of interest for bans. But then you have players like Milla who I believe are pretty good at LN based on what I've seen from them in 7 key. So
7 key player, I see.
yeah, so they apply their trade in, at least from what I've seen, in more 7 key oriented tournaments, and it looks like we're going to see the bans come out. Rice 1 and LN2. Unsurprising on both ends when all is said and done here.
From the looks of it, it's probably gonna be a Rice versus long note kind of matchup already.
Yeah, we're going to start it off with a little bit of Rice here. Rice 2, the Island of Albatross, going to be the first pick here.
And let me just quickly take a look at the statistics sheet here. Milla is actually a higher seeding compared to Konkawe at number 16, and Konkawe is seeded at 49. So this is a pretty big seeding differences.
Yeah, it does lead to maybe Milla having a bit of an advantage, but I think that's just more because of the fact that they're more comfortable with these higher key modes. But when you bring
Definitely.
the difficulty overall, that does pose a bit of a problem, especially if konkawe has some early game abilities here. So definitely don't count them out as this match continues.
Here's the thing about seeding in early game when you go against the higher seeding, because during qualifier, the maps is in the mid-range of easy and hard, you know? And right now we are at, early game where anything can happen to both level of seeding, both high-seeded player and low-seeded players. Anything can happen, literally.
Yeah, for sure. And as we make our way through this first quarter of the chart, we see konkawe actually take a bit of a lead in terms of accuracy. Both players holding on to their FCs for the moment, only separated by about 0.2% at the moment. Can switch in an instant right now. This is a very fragile lead for konkawe to work with, but a lead nonetheless here.
Konkawe is definitely taking up his 4-key accuracy into use here. One thing I know from touching a little bit of 7-key is that if you adapt a little bit of 4-key already and have ratio implemented into your brain, getting ratio in other key modes will be a lot more easier. So as you can see, konkawe is definitely using that skill really, really well. 99.80% almost. Oh, as I see that he got a few accuracy drop, dropping down to 99.68.
Yeah, picked up a spike of 200s, maybe just hitting one of these chords a little bit too early, and that is going to put a bit of a damper on their lead. Milla bringing up their accuracy as well, lingering around that 99.6 mark, just about a 10 behind by konkawe.
Konkawe with a miss right there. Oh no, that's not a good miss on such short map. Milla is still holding the full combo with 99.52%.
Yeah, that miss was devastating for konkawe, able to keep the damage to a minimum here, but the damage nonetheless does give the lead back over to Milla to work with, not trading that miss back and still holding on to this FC, and another drop
and
from
another
konkawe is
one
going to
from
seal the
Konkawe.
deal.
The ending drop. Yeah, that definitely seals the deal there. Milla will be taking the first break point from konkawe's pick. 985k though, that's really strong. But look at konkawe's, ratio is a lot more better compared to Miller. However, it's just that this skill ceiling between Miller and Konkawe is definitely there, from the seeding as we see. So it's either Konkawe holds out on their consistency to not miss and take home the points with ratio difference, or he misses, here and there and have Miller their way. But I just hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you touched upon it pretty well there. The consistency is going to need to be at an all-time forefront for Konkawe to try and take some of these points away from Milla. They definitely do have the ratio ability, but gonna be able to need to see if they can hold on to the combo here as we wait for Milla to throw out their first pick. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw LN1
either
get thrown
LN1 or
out here.
hybrid. It's either one of them. But most likely LN1 for their protect early, on protects is either you pick it later on or straight away to get that first point. Usually I would, pick it a little bit later on to have at least a solid 3 point in case things get dicey,
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a couple of avenues of approach with regards to protects. It does add a nice little wrinkle to the overall match proceedings. But for right now, we are still waiting for Milla's first pick. Maybe just wanted to make sure that they have a pick in mind. That or just maybe forgetting that they needed to make a pick.
Yeah, they forgot it was them. They won so hard that they forgot, oh, it's my pick. Because, they didn't expect a breakpoint or something. But, we do see Hybrid 1 coming in.
Yeah, a bit unsurprising with regards to the style of the pick.
From the picks from the protects and bans and picking already, we can see this is Konkawe, the Rice fight, or Miller, the Hybrid and Long Note fight. It's either one of them to take home the win.
Yeah, so it might be a bit of an uphill struggle for Konkawe. Definitely no slouch when it comes to LN and hybrids, but that's in regards to 4-key. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the 6-key variants. If they keep this close, maybe it gives them a bit more confidence going into some of these future picks, but definitely going to be a bit of a hill to climb for them.
Definitely, since learning another key mode is really, really hard, especially if you started off with 4-key. Yes, there is some benefits from starting out in 4-key and transition to 7-key, that being, most importantly, your ratio being better. But to get that finger control that you have already implemented onto your brain in 4-key to something like 7-key, it's gonna be a lot more harder. Yes, you have the skill, but that doesn't mean you have the finger control. If you don't have that, you're done for.
For sure, but for right now, Konkawe really showing off what they are made of.
As you said,
finding the drop. Yeah, the LN starts to get a little bit more dense to read through. Maybe just finding a couple of slider breaks as they try and hang on to the best of their abilities. Not taking too much damage, just in that low 99% mark. And Milla still able to hold on to the FC, but in the mid 99s here, gonna be able to take a bit of an advantage to the tune of about 23,000 points as these structures get a lot more complicated.
Down to mid 98. This is what I meant. In long note, especially in upwards of 4-key, finger control on long note is really, really hard. It's not something anyone can master easily. Miller here playing so comfortably though.
Yeah, they're definitely well within their comfort zone right now. Sure, taking a couple of tenths in terms of damage to their accuracy, but still able to hold on.
That full combo,
More than enough in certain instances, especially in the early game. I always like to say whenever we do these early game rounds, it's usually miss or die for a lot of these
as you can
matchups.
See, this is a miss or die situation from the earlier break. Oh, Konkawe just another break. Really not liking the long note session here. No wonder he decided to ban the long notes. As you can see, he's definitely struggling in the long note department of the pool here.
Yeah, and I mean, we see that happen a lot when it comes to more rice-oriented players. going up into these higher key modes. I mean, some of the best 7 key players playing LN. You bring out these like 2-star LN maps, and they are just floundering. So it's understandable the lower performance, but still able to hold on to the 98. Probably wasn't gonna willingly pick this of their own regard. So being able to tank their way through that as best as they could, giving away that breakpoint capitalization here, making it 2-0 now in favor of Milla as they transition back on into the Rice pool. Go for Rice 4 here.
Honestly, they really have to play really well on the Rice maps, because if they hold out their consistency good enough for konkawe, they can definitely take points off in the Rice if they don't miss, you know.
Yeah, and
Because
they can.
he has the ratio advantage from Forky, unlike Milla, who has the higher physicality and long skill, but does not have the ratio to match up against konkawe. The only way for Milla to take the Rice points away is mainly if konkawe misses, because their ratio differences, you know, difference in ratio scaling is definitely visibly there.
Yeah, for sure. So why not go for one of the most awkward and abrasive maps to play in this Rice pool? This map is just littered with flams and grace note bursts that can definitely take you for a bit of a ride if you're not too careful. I have seen a lot of players lose a lot of accuracy through various sections of this chart, just littered with choke points. But for right now, both of them handling it with relative ease. konkawe actually coming out the beneficiary to his introduction. 99.8 for them. Milla not too far behind, 99.5. And we're going to see that battle begin to develop once again, where it's the combo versus the accuracy. Who can hang on to their respective half of the bargain here longer? Already into the second quarter of the chart now.
konkawe still holding a little bit of accuracy. Ooh, having a little bit of drop there, down to 99.63. Not a big margin. Oh, Milla actually found a miss. Wait, was that client? Or was that actually was a real miss? That was actually a real miss. Oh, konkawe did trade it back later on though with another one.
And that was a bit dirtier than Milla's a third one to follow. They were doing so well through this first half, but unable to keep it clean. There's still a back half of the chart left though. There's still a minute for both of the players to contend with. But on the transition back into it, these bursts catching out konkawe, unfortunate, and Milla now back up over that 400 combo cap, able to take full advantage of the score.
konkawe here holding down all the notes.
You know, I was gonna make a comment on that. I've noticed konkawe's full inversing some of these structures, and I don't know if that's to keep themselves in time or if they're just having a little bit of fun with the overall chart, but I don't think they realize just how close some of these Rice charts are getting, especially with the fact that Milla found a break, but konkawe trades it back here. Gonna wait to see if that was client, but with about an eighth of the chart left to go, 40,000 points between the two of them. This one might be over and done with.
Yeah, the accuracy difference is way too big for any upset towards konkawe to swap it back. Milla does find another miss, but it was not enough. It was way too big of a gap. And Milla will be taking a third point and going into match point. Since this is round of 64, it is first to 4, which is really, really risky, you know. If it's first to 5, you have a small room to breathe, but not much. This one, it's like you're suffocating if you get one break point or something, you know?
Yeah, it really does crank up the pressure immediately if you give away a break point, especially in a best of 7. But for right now, Milla wasting 0 time. They're going for their protect. They
Long
knew.
note 1, they knew. Honestly, couldn't have seen it coming since it's their protect. It's possibly their last pick. They're just gonna, you know, choose it out there since it is match point. It is, you know, expected that they chose a protect to guarantee a point to get home their last point. But this still can go into, you know, konkawe's favor. Not all protects is 100% win.
For sure, anything can still happen. As we load into the 4th map of this best of 7, I did mention at the top of the broadcast that this is a double header. The other match is currently ongoing between Matthias and Baguette to Pain, and right now Matthias is winning that match 2-1 as it stands.
Okay, so it's not a sweep. You know what? I think after this round, if we still have time and they're still playing, are we switching over?
That'll be a very good question. It'll really come down to the streamer being able to switch it over, but we'll keep you guys posted regardless of what happens. So,
Yep.
with that being said, continuing on with this match, both players handling this introduction relatively well. Maybe a couple of tenths between the two of them, a couple of
Small
stray
lead.
releases.
Small lead to Miller right now, 99.73%, going against Konkawe, who's right at their tail with 99.62%. It may seem, a little bit big, but hey, this is longer release kind of map in 6 key, no less, making it very, very tight that anything can happen. And we do see Konkawe will be getting the accuracy advantage now. Miller dropping a few 200s, making their act down to 99.29. Still not big of a gap, but it is a gap nonetheless towards Konkawe.
Yeah, for sure. This is an advantage for them, but not able to capitalize the slider break coming through here. Still holding on to the accuracy advantage, but another one going to come through here. They're trading back and forth here in terms of accuracy, but those misses are going to do significant damage because of the fact that Milla is still above that 400 combo cap, still holding on to the FC on their end with half the map still left to go. They're going to be able to grow this advantage, but it is still surmountable. Leads can
Another slider break from Konkawe. Yeah, the finger to control really isn't looking towards Konkawe's favor here as he's finding slider breaks here and there.
Yeah, it's always that first half that they come out of the gates swinging, but they're just not able to hang on through the second half of these performances. But it does bode well for them. They can clean up the second halves in that round of 32 map pool. They can definitely pose a bit of a threat. Yeah. But this map's still not over. Still a quarter left to go. Milla only about a tenth ahead in terms of accuracy, but with 21,000 points in the back pocket to work with and a handful of misses to boot.
Another one from Konkawe right after the 400 combo as well.
Yeah, it's just going to put a big damper on their score. Milla finally finding a slider break.
But it is not enough. The map is coming to a close, and I don't think this is swinging any time over. Yeah, the lead is way too big for Konkawe to get back as we continuously to see Konkawe not really loving the L1 release here, finding some more slider break, making the gap a little bit more bigger, and it will be going towards Milla. 959k, honestly respectable.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
My goodness me, that ratio from Konkawe.
Yeah, I mean, they are definitely a formidable opponent to go up against. Just need to clean up some of the performances, and they can definitely put up a bit of a fight against some of the other players in this tournament. But congratulations to Milla for punching their ticket into the round of 32 winners bracket with a 4-0 win over Konkawe. Konkawe not out of it just yet. Just gonna need to make the run in that losers bracket.
I did remember it is Konkawe for Konkawe's time zone. It is 2 a.m. So yeah, he has to sleep. So yeah, as you were saying, congratulations to Miller. You're gonna go up to the winners bracket for round of 32. Congratulations. But don't think we're not done yet. I think we are switching over unless the streamer has something else planned. But yes, we are switching over. Konkawe, good job. You did your best. Come on, you just switched to 60. Learning another key mode is tough, okay? And he honestly did really well, especially since this is the first 60 tournament against a lot of crazy players. So yeah, not out of it yet. We still have loser bracket for those who lost. But yeah, good luck to them next week. But still, let's focus our attention towards this match. Medius versus Baguette to Pain, one of our commentators for this tournament. And as we just finished the map, we see Medius getting 4-1. Wait, 4-1? Isn't it 3-1?
No, 4-1.
Okay, so wow. Anyway, GG, well played to these two players.
Yeah, I mean, coming in right at the end through
at the end.
Outro of the fifth map, Matthias able to close it out here by a score of 4-1, punching their ticket into the round of 32 winners bracket, knocking Baguette to Pain down into that losers bracket. Wasn't a sweep. Yeah. They can hang their hat on that, a sweep. But
that's something to not be upset about. It's not a sweep.
For sure. So with that being said, congratulations to both Mila and Matthias for punching their ticket into the round of 32 winners bracket. And that will do it for this double header. We're going to take a pretty significant break between now and the last match of the weekend. It is going to be Baby Potato X3 taking on Martin 22 at 22 UTC, funnily enough.
Wow, that's a time zone that I will be really, really asleep at for the Asian countries. But yeah, we'll just have a bit of a break until 22 UTC, where I will not be here anymore, probably next week or tomorrow, depending on what Monk says. But yeah, tune in for 22 UTC. Do we have a streamer for that, Mr. Sparky?
To be determined, but if we do get one, we'll be sure to bring you guys the final match of round of 64. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, nothing else to say from me as well. This has been Adam Ackerville signing off. Good night, everyone, especially those living in Asia. Go to sleep. Good night.
Rush and the stream.